I watched The Perfect Neighbor on Netflix, and I just want to give black folks the trigger warning that I feel like people did not give when they did a review.
My mom was murdered by my neighbor. That Netflix documentary that is like the perfect example of what I experienced.
I watched The Perfect Neighbor on Netflix, and I just want to give black folks the trigger warning that I feel like people did not give when they did a review.
The world keeps getting cooked day by day. Netflix, The Perfect Neighbor, might be one of the most chilling true stories this year. It's not just about a neighborhood gone wrong, it's about fear, race, and what happens when tension turns deadly. The documentary takes us right inside the tragic encounter between AJ Owens and her neighbor Susan Lawrence. No actors, no voiceovers, just raw reality. Videos gotten from the body cams of police officers, 911 phone calls, all featured in these videos. And also in this video, we are going to be looking at AJ's son's reaction to the documentary, and also one of our very good neighbors also reacted to the documentary. So guys, welcome to today's video. If you're new to this space, kindly subscribe to the channel, like the video, share, leave your thoughts in the comment section, and let us get right into the video.
Now, I'm going to give some of the movie away, but I promise you that it'll be worth it for you to decide whether or not you want to watch it. So this is not, in fact, a movie. It is a documentary about how this Looney Toony Karen unalived this beautiful black woman in front of her kids. Now, in the movie, there's a lot of graphic images and sounds and things that might be triggering. But the premise of it is that that lady, the Karen, was their neighbor, and she described herself as the perfect neighbor, but she continued to antagonize and harass all of the black and brown kids in the neighborhood. When this beautiful queen went over there to confront Karen about harassing her kids and taking one of her kids' tablets, she was met with a firearm, and at that moment, the Karen unalived her. Now, let me show you just what kind of Karen we're talking about.
I have an aneurysm on my left kidney artery. And so, like, just you're supposed to stay calm, you're not supposed to do anything. And this woman just keeps antagonizing. She's got the kids calling me. I go on, they're like, hey, Karen. I'm like, I haven't talked for over 3. Do not talk to me like I am one of your peers.
Now, this all took place in Florida, and obviously she was depending on the stand your ground law, but that didn't work for her, and she was still charged with unaliving their mother. The hardest part of this documentary for me to watch was listening to the kids cry out as they tried to save their mother and waited for the ambulance to arrive. I was in literal tears because no one should ever have to hear a child screaming out for help as their mother is losing her life on the ground in front of them. All in all, it was a good watch, but it could be traumatizing, so watch with caution.
My mom was murdered by my neighbor. That Netflix documentary that is like the perfect example of what I experienced. So back when I was 15, my mom was killed by my neighbor. I was shot. My brother was shot. But when I try to explain the story to people, because people always be like, well, why did she do that? Why did she do that? Why did she do that? I personally could not finish the documentary. I only got to, I don't know how many minutes in. I'm only a few minutes in, but I had to turn it off because it's way too triggering for me. But if you watched it, how psychotic that lady was, that's what I experienced. So when I try to tell people, like, I don't know why this lady just flipped out and why she was acting the way she was acting, people they give me like a little side eye, like, there must be more to it. But it's not it. People really have evil, manipulative ways in them. My scenario was a little different. I wasn't necessarily dealing with a Karen, but as far as their evil, they are the equal. They equal in evil. In my case, it's a little different because the person that actually pulled the trigger was my neighbor's husband, but the girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever the case is, I don't know if they're legally married, but I'm just going to say husband. But the wife was the aggressor. She antagonized everything. And when I say this lady in this video, this Netflix documentary, same attitude. So yeah, it's just so crazy seeing this happen. And I'm just like, I know this lady. Like, I know what type of lady this is. I witnessed this shit firsthand. And my heart goes out to those kids. Like, the absolute worst way. I was 15 and I'm witnessing this. And witnessing my brother. My brother could have got shot and killed in front of me. Me getting shot 4 times myself. This shit is just crazy. Like, it's just, I can't even finish my sentence because it's just so triggering. And just looking at what I went through in a different view, it's just, I don't know. I can't really explain it, but that Neighbors, that's just pure evil. And like I said, just seeing that displayed in another person, that evil in another person, goes to show what really is walking amongst us. My heart goes out to those kids. I still struggle with that. My mom was my best friend. I literally just cried a few days ago. The grieving just doesn't stop. But like, I can't put it in words. So unfortunately, I will not be finishing the documentary. I don't plan on finishing the documentary. I've experienced that enough in my life. But if you watch it, that's just giving a little insight. But prayers to those babies and their families and all the victims involved.
I don't think I can get through The Perfect Neighbor. Oh my God. When the cop asked that baby if he was hurt and he said, no, but my heart is broken. Susan Lorenz, I hope you know that the devil himself is creating a special circle in hell for you. Because what you did to that neighborhood and to that family and to those kids, you're going straight to hell and there is no redemption for your soul at all.
Phew, okay, I collected myself. Okay, now I have things I need to say. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to AJ Brown's family for even putting any of this out. I think it's incredibly important that people see the dangers of what hate can really do. So often we get into the space of excusing behavior that we deem inconsequential, like extreme hatred. This woman presented extremely hateful. She called children everything but a child of God, out of their names, called them slaves. Are you kidding me? Called them the N-word hard ER. Okay? That lady was so incredibly hateful, and usually it's like, oh, be the bigger person. She's just mean. She's miserable in her own life. And it's like, no, those people actually can turn out to be very dangerous, especially when they start to action it. And the action is calling the police over and over and over and over and over again on these people that she has expressed extreme hatred to. Like, that crazy lady thought that she would be validated in shooting her. Because every single time she called the cops, they came out there. Every single time she called the cops, they listened to her side of the story. At no point, at least from what I saw so far with the body cam footage, did the cops say, you can't keep harassing these people. This is rising to the level of harassment. These are your neighbors. They're not doing anything illegal. You can't keep bringing us out here. You're wasting taxpayer dollars. You're wasting resources. And I understand there are procedural limits because honestly, the cops seemed fed up. They seemed like they would have told her she was annoying time two that she called the cops. But in the same breath, it's like that's just more reason for the procedures to change. You can't have somebody that hateful and that mean-spirited who would already action it by calling the cops feel like they're validated, because it just gets worse. You can tell she's shocked the cops are detaining her. She's like, whoa, wait a second. What are you talking about? Like, she's shocked because she's like, no, like I told y'all these people are a nuisance. I've told y'all they've wanted to harm me, even though she's been caught in multiple different lies. And she felt validated until the end. That can't keep happening. When you're dealing with that type of hatred, you gotta quell it. And I don't want to hear none of that, oh, he said, she said. The whole neighborhood at this point is like, this lady is crazy. And she's the only one with a problem with the children. Nobody else has a problem with the children. Everybody else's stories on every occasion line up but hers. Hers is the only one that's different. Like, let's be serious, guys. And I do want to say that moving forward, I hope more victims are able to have creative process over their stories being told, if they want their story to be told, mind you, because Everybody doesn't want or need their story to be told, because I think that this is the right answer. Y'all need to see what happens, what in real time happens when y'all do stupid stuff, when y'all have hateful family members and hateful friends, and you write it off as like, oh, that's just a crotchety old person, or like, oh, they don't really mean anything by it, they're just being miserable or whatever, and y'all write them off and you don't say anything to them about it, and you don't say, hey, that's messed up, don't say that, don't do that. You just let it be. A lot of times it will fester and it will manifest itself into violence. It will. And this is a perfect way to show that, because I feel on edge. I feel it's so emotional. This is harrowing to watch. I hope everybody feels how those kids felt, because that is not anything anybody should have to go through. Anyway, I'm going to watch the rest of it, but I just had to get that off my chest, as I always do.
I just want to say thank you for all the people that are watching the film The Perfect Neighbor, because I haven't made any TikToks about this or any videos about this situation, because it happened before I started making videos. But many people don't know that this is actually my family. All the people involved with the film The Perfect Neighbor, including Adjika herself, is a part of my family. From the director, Geeta, that is my aunt, to Takima, who helped put everything together, that is also my aunt. My mother is a part of this, Kim, Lisi, and Miss Pam became a part of the family, Adjika's mother. All of these people who you see in the interviews, who are mentioned to be attached to the movie and things like that, every single last person is a part of my family, including Adjika, because Adjika and my mother were best friends. And so throughout this whole entire process, when this film was being made, when everything happened, I never really made a video about it because I didn't want to take that attention away from what was going on. But from all the experience that I had went through being a part of the family, being in the room when things were being discussed and seeing all of this transpire around me, one of the things that this film really showed me, not even the film, but the situation itself. You guys are seeing the film, the lead up to it, but a lot of people didn't see or haven't seen the aftermath of everything that came after this situation. And through this tragedy, one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen happen in my life took place. And it was the camaraderie of Black women. I have never seen strength shown on this scale in my life if it were not for Black women. The amount of pain that each of these women endured, including and especially the children, but the amount of pain that all of these women endured as mothers that had kids of their own. And what makes the situation even more ironic is that I used to live in the same exact apartment that Adjika used to live in. I used to play in the same exact field that her kids were playing in. So me and my mother were very close to this situation, but through all of that realization that could have been her, that could have been me in that situation, that could have been one of my brothers. The way these women came together to ensure that Adjika Owens received justice was absolutely amazing. I've never seen that before in my entire life, how all of these women came together to not only make sure that this situation was heard, that justice was served, but to also ensure that their own household stayed together. And that now these 4 children that Adjika had left behind had to be taken care of, and every single one of them became their mothers. That was the most powerful thing I have ever seen. For them to still have been going through every single thing that they were going through in their personal lives, but still made time, still had the patience, still had the willpower to keep going, and then to make sure that they could provide, that they could do everything that they needed to do for the children, to make sure that they were loved, to make sure that they had, to make sure that they did not go without. That is the most powerful thing that I want people to learn from this film. It's not just about the tragedy. The tragedy of itself is horrific. Everything that transpired is absolutely absurd that it even had to get to that point. But through that anger that a lot of people are going to receive while watching this video, I want you to then think about the aftermath and think about the beauty of everything that came out of it. That is one thing about black people, especially black women, is that through times of tragedy, there was always something beautiful that comes out of it.
First of all, I want to say I love you guys so much. Like, thank you for all of the love that I have received. I'm not looking, okay, let me start over. I posted the video initially because it was upsetting me so much because I'm from Facebook. Like, I'm not a TikTok girly. Like, I do not post a lot. I'm more of a Facebook person. And so I was seeing like a lot of hate on Facebook, and it just really, really upset me. So that's why I made the live. And I'm like, well, let me post it on TikTok as well so that people can be aware of, of things. And then it like blew up. I did not expect it to blow up like that. But thank you all for all of the absolute love. I really do appreciate it. And I'm not looking to get clout or no things like that. I'm just a normal, caring, loving human being. And I feel like, I did what any decent human being would have done. And also, I have 3 children of my own. So anyone's kids are always going to be okay with me. You don't ever have to worry about anything when they're with me. And also, just to clear up, because I still see people in my comments, they're still getting me and Phyllis confused. So let me just clarify. I am the one in the documentary that says all of the kids are mine. That was me. And I guess people are getting it confused because it isn't a scene where it's dark and I have my hair up and Phyllis always has her hair up. But that was me. And Phyllis is the one that was yelling at the cop. And later in that documentary, you will see where the cop says, oh, I'm shutting my camera off, shut yours off. Because you would have seen me. I like yelled, obviously, and I was screaming and all them things. But that's enough about that. I just wanted to thank y'all so much. And I'm getting so many comments, and I'm trying to reply to some of y'all's questions and things. I'm still learning how to do certain stuff on TikTok, so bear with me, and I will get to some of your questions. Like how I just did it here, I will reply to some of y'all's questions that way, because there is a lot. But I just wanted to thank you guys so very much. Have a wonderful day.
I remember this news trending 2 years ago when it happened, and it's really a traumatizing one. And it is even more traumatizing for the innocent boy that was right there when this whole thing happened. Now this boy sees it as his fault. It's all his fault. This whole thing happened to his mom. I just hope that boy has gotten the therapy that he needs to heal from this. Here are some of the comments I saw. And guys, this particular event is one of the reasons why people want to stay away from their neighbor, because you cannot even tell what is going on in that neighbor's mind, especially when that person seems to be a troublesome person. Imagine calling the police several times. Like at a point, these guys, they will not show up even when she calls. You know what hits me the most about The Perfect Neighbor? It wasn't just the crime itself, it was how familiar it felt. Like this could literally be any neighborhood in the United States of America. You've got kids playing outside, a mom trying to raise a family, and then one person's fear and bias turning an everyday moment into a tragedy. The documentary does something really different. There's no dramatic retelling, no narrator telling you what to feel. It just shows you real 911 calls, police body cam footage, raw emotions. It's uncomfortable, but in the best way, you are forced to sit with the truth, not just consume it like entertainment. You really need to go watch that documentary. Like you could see the kids, when these police officers were called upon to come and check the whole situation, and they go around asking different neighbors about this particular woman. Everybody kept saying the same thing. Nobody said something different. And what does that tell you? It tells you that this particular woman was just the problem. She had issues assimilating into that neighborhood. For crying out loud, it's something the kids are used to. These kids, they go to school, they come back from school. When they are done resting and all that, they come out and they start having fun, playing together. And I think that is what a normal neighborhood should look like. And then there's the bigger conversation here: race, perception, and how fear gets weaponized. Susan Lawrence claimed self-defense under Florida's Stand Your Ground law. But when you look at the facts, you can't ignore how much that law keeps getting used to excuse violence, especially against Black victims. Another thing that caught my attention in that documentary was when the Black women in that community, in that neighborhood, they all came together with their placards. They were going out, protesting that this woman should be arrested. A lot of Black women in that neighborhood, they came together. And let's not forget AJ Owens' legacy. She wasn't just a victim. She was a mother of 4 who was trying to do what any parent would: protect her children. AJ Owens wasn't just the ordinary mother. She was a hard worker. She was a manager in one of these McDonald's branch right there in her community. And neighbors even made mention of how she doesn't pick a lot of shifts just for her to be around her children. She was not an absent mom. She was a present mom. And then watching those kids recount what happened, that's the part that stays with you long after the credit rolls. You could see the courage it took their father to break the news to these children. Like, he had to gather so much courage so that he could tell the children that their mom didn't survive what happened to her. And after this man broke the news to these boys, no, you need to see the way these boys were crying. You could tell she had that relationship with her boys. So yeah, The Perfect Neighbor isn't just a crime documentary, it's a mirror. It forces you to look at the systems, the biases, and even the silence that allows these things to keep happening. And so this documentary wasn't just an easy watch. Of course, there are people that started it and they couldn't just stand the whole shenanigans of this woman, and they just had to stop watching the documentary. But that's exactly why it's important. It reminds us how fear, bias, and silence can literally cost lives. And if you've watched up to this point, you are the real MVP. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to drop your thoughts in the comment section, because conversations like this need to be heard. And if you found this breakdown helpful, I would like you to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also do not forget to turn on your notification bell so you get informed or you get notified when my next video drops. Until next time, guys, I want you to stay aware. I want you to stay kind. And also remember, being a good neighbor starts with being human. And until then, thank you so much and see you in the next one. Peace out.